I remember because I'd just finished pouring a whiskey for a regular named Carl when every phone in the place went off in a chorus of shrill, digital screams. The red flash of my cracked screen read, "Emergency alert, do not go outside after dark. Stay indoors, lock all doors and windows. They are not human. Repeat, after dark. It is not safe." Laughter followed. Nervous, confused laughter. Jesus. The government's really pulling our leg tonight. Carl muttered, sipping his drink with shaking hands. But I wasn't laughing. Something in the pit of my gut clenched like a fist. The bartender, Rosie, locked the front door without a word. She didn't smile. She just looked at me and whispered, "Sun went down 20 minutes ago." We all stood still. Outside, the night pressed against the windows like a living thing. Then the scratching started. It was soft at first, like nails against the glass. Carl stood up too fast, his bar stool crashing behind him. "Probably a raccoon," he muttered. Heading to the window, I didn't move. I couldn't. He pulled back the curtain, and then he screamed. I only caught a glimpse before Rosie yanked me down behind the bar. But I saw something, a shape, tall, too tall. Its arms hung wrong, like wet rope. And its eyes, if they were eyes, glowed like dying embers. Carl's scream choked off. We heard the thud. No one else moved. No one dared. The scratching resumed. Only now it was on every window, every wall, even the ceiling. We stayed low, huddled behind the bar like kids hiding from the boogeyman. Rosie grabbed the shotgun from under the counter and kept it pointed at the door. Then the voice came. It sounded like Carl, but twisted, slow, like a recording played backward. "Let me in. It's me. It's safe now." It repeated, over and over, like it was learning the words. But it wasn't Carl. It had his voice, but it didn't have his soul. The lights flickered. The generator in the back groaned. Someone behind me whispered a prayer. I kept my eyes on the door. Another alert came through. Only this one wasn't from the government, from unknown sender. "Do not trust your friends. Do not speak to them after dark. They listen. They copy. They enter when you break the rules." The bartender turned to me slowly, smiling, but her eyes were all wrong, like they'd been painted on. She was smiling at me. Rosie, but it wasn't her. The real Rosie used to chew her lip when she was nervous. Her hands always smelled like lime and tobacco. This one? Still, too still. Like a puppet waiting for someone to pull the strings. I didn't speak. Didn't breathe too loud. The others behind the bar hadn't noticed yet. Or maybe they had and they were too scared to admit it. Outside, the scratching stopped. Silence hit the building like a wave. Then came the knock. Just one knock. Polite, almost gentle. Rosie, not Rosie, turned toward the door, her head tilting a full 45 degrees like a bird listening for worms. Then she looked at me again, eyes locked, and whispered, "You heard it too, right?" It was a trap, I knew it. She wanted me to respond, to speak. That's how they spread. Through voice, through attention. Something in the dark mimics intent. If you speak, if you acknowledge them, they can replace someone. Maybe even you. One of the other guys, Rick, broke. "It's just the wind, right?" The moment he said it, the lights snapped off. Darkness swallowed the bar. A mechanical hum started from somewhere deep in the walls, vibrating like a low growl. Something was in here now. We weren't alone anymore. A wet sound echoed from the far end of the bar, like meat hitting the floor. Then Rick screamed. The kind of scream you can't fake, followed by nothing. Rosie's silhouette was still in front of me. Too tall now, stretching. She didn't move like a person. Her limbs unfolded. I clutched the shotgun, but even with the faint light from my phone screen, I knew a slug wouldn't stop whatever she was. I backed toward the kitchen, carefully, quietly. My foot crunched on broken glass. Her head snapped in my direction. Then she shrieked, high-pitched, like metal bending in half. It cut through the room, made my teeth ache. Behind me, someone opened a door. Emergency exit, I think. Faint moonlight spilled in. I saw shadows scatter across the floor like bugs. I ran. Sprinting out the back, I didn't look behind me. Didn't want to see what was chasing me. I could still hear her, it calling after me in Rosie's voice. Only now it sounded like she was underwater. "Wait, come back. You're safe now." "No, I'm not." I ran until I hit the diner down the road. Lights were off. Windows cracked. Another alert blinked on the radio by the register. Emergency update. If you escaped, do not enter another building uninvited. They infect walls. They mimic homes. Wait for dawn. Do not trust structures. The booth I'm sitting in feels like it's breathing. Walls are pulsing. Ceiling is dripping something black. I don't think I made it out. I think I just walked into another mouth. Walls in the diner breathe in, out, slow, like lungs filled with wet leaves. I haven't moved from the booth. My legs won't obey me. There's something in the seat across from me now. I didn't see it sit. It just appeared. It looks like a woman. Could be Rosie. Could be someone else. The skin is right, the hair, the eyes, but it feels like a mask stretched over a boneless thing. Her smile doesn't move with the rest of her face. "You made it," she says, tone bright, syrupy. "That bar was no good. You're safe here." She reaches across the table and touches my hand. Her skin is too soft. Like bread left in rain, I yank my hand back. I don't say a word. I think that's the only reason I'm still me. The radio near the register hisses again. New update, final warning. They can mimic comfort. If you feel safe, you are already inside. The sun will not save you. I glance at the window, still dark. But the black outside the glass doesn't look like night. It looks like oil. It moves. I think I can see faces in it. The woman tilts her head. That same puppet motion. "You look tired," she says gently. "You can sleep here. I'll keep you warm." That voice. It's using my mother's voice now. From a phone call I made 2 months ago. I never told anyone what she said to me before she died. No one could have known. It's not mimicking Rosie. It's mimicking my memories. I slide out of the booth slowly, hands trembling. The tile under my feet ripples like the surface of a pond. I don't think this is a building anymore. I don't think it ever was. The ceiling opens, just a little. Not a hatch, not a door. More like a throat. A slippery sliver of meat and light, and above it, I see sunlight, real light. Not warm, not fake, real. Is that dawn? I don't know, but I run. The woman lunges across the table, her arms stretching too far, fingers like wires. I sprint across the shifting floor as the walls close in, bleeding rust-colored ooze. The windows melt, the booths buckle. I leap toward the light, and everything goes silent. I wake up in a field, no buildings. No noise, the sun is actually rising. My phone is cracked but lit. One final alert blinks. "You escaped, temporarily. Next time they will be faster. Remember, after dark it is not safe. Trust nothing that welcomes you. I'm alone. For now, but the ground under me is still warm, still breathing." The sun rose and I thought I'd made it. Birds chirped. Wind moved through the grass. The world looked like it used to. I walked for hours. Past empty farms, collapsed billboards, roads split by weeds. My phone was dead. No more alerts. No more signals, just silence. Then I saw the white van. No logos. Just idling at the end of the road like it had been waiting. A man stepped out. Black tactical gear. Mirrored sunglasses. An earpiece. He didn't look surprised to see me. "Name?" he asked. I gave it. He tapped something on a tablet. "You're on the survivor list." That chilled me more than anything the mimics had done. They had a list. He waved me into the van. I hesitated, but he smiled. "You're safe now. We'll take you to a recovery site. Full debrief, hot food, clean clothes." I got in. I shouldn't have. They brought me to a facility carved into the side of a mountain. No signs, no windows. Inside, white walls hummed with hidden machinery. They scanned my blood, eyes, teeth. They asked questions, over and over. "What did you see?" Did it speak in a familiar voice? Did you answer it? Did you bring anything out with you? I told them everything. They nodded. Took notes. Smiled too often. Then they led me to a room. No bed. No door handle on the inside. "You'll stay here for observation. Just 48 hours. The lights shut off before I could respond. No, day 2, a woman in a lab coat came in. She looked tired. More human than the rest. "You're lucky," she said softly. "Only 6 made it out last night." I asked why no one knew what was happening. Why there weren't warnings before sundown. Why we weren't told the truth. She just stared at me. Then whispered, "Because panic spreads infection." They hear it. They learn from it. I didn't understand, but she leaned closer. Voice trembling. "We don't control the nights anymore. Haven't for years. We only contain the after. You understand?" I did, and I wanted to throw up. Later that night, someone tried to unlock my door. Not with a key, but with a voice. Rosie's voice, soft, familiar. "Hey, I'm okay." They fixed me. Let me in. I backed into the corner. No one else heard it. No alarm, no guards, just that voice, and then silence. The next morning, they told me I was free to go. I asked where. They said anywhere, but if I heard the alerts again, follow the rules. They let me walk out alone, into a daylight that didn't feel warm anymore. Before I left, I asked the woman in the lab coat, "Is there a cure? A way to stop them?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. There was, once. Then she shut the gate behind me. I don't know what's worse anymore. The things in the dark, or the people who let them in. I've been off the grid for 13 days. No phone, no credit cards. I sleep in my car, move between abandoned towns, gas stations with boarded windows, houses with rooms that feel watched. I've been listening, watching the sky. I don't trust the sunlight anymore. It's too clean, too quiet. They told me I was free, but I wasn't even 2 miles from the facility when I noticed the drone. Small, silent, always in the corner of my vision. I covered it with my jacket and dumped it in a ditch. That's when I realized they don't let survivors go. They follow them. 3 nights ago, I stopped in a ghost town. Sign said Marrow Pines. No cars, no birds. But there was a light in one house. Just one. I should have left. But I was hungry and stupid. Inside was a girl, maybe 10, sitting on the floor with crayons and a flashlight. She looked up at me and smiled. "I knew you'd come," she said. I froze. "What's your name?" I asked. She blinked. "Do you want it to be Emily?" That was all I needed. I backed out of the house and ran until I reached the tree line. I watched from the woods as the girl walked to the window and waved at nothing. Then the light in the house turned red. Last night I broke into a government relay station. I needed answers. Inside I found a monitor looping alert drafts, things we never see. Unsent alert. Containment breach in Zone 4C. Mimic type. Persistent. Unknown host. Do not engage. Observe only. Zone 4C. That's where I escaped. The mimic didn't die with the night. It followed someone out. It learned how to exist in daylight. And now the government's not trying to stop it. They're watching to see what it becomes. This morning I found a fresh alert on a burner phone I pulled from a dead mailbox. New warning. Do not trust the sun. Daylight is not a guarantee of safety. If you feel normal, you may already be host. My reflection in the mirror blinked a second too late. She still hasn't blinked. I've stopped looking at mirrors. The government doesn't care anymore, not about stopping it. They're just tracking who gets touched. I think they know it's already too late. I've been watching people. Crowds at diners. Park benches. Rest stops. You can tell who's clean. They flinch. They breathe fast when a door creaks. The infected don't. They just watch. Still, calm, like animals pretending to be human. They move among us now. And the worst part? No one notices. This morning I walked into a gas station. The clerk didn't blink once the whole time I was there. Behind her, the security screen looped the same 3-second footage on all 8 monitors. Loop, loop, loop. Same smile, same nod. Same second of eye contact. I said nothing. Just grabbed water and left. As I turned to leave, she said, "You dropped your name." I didn't even speak. I ran. I headed north. Towns get quieter up there. Less movement. I found a ranger station deep in the woods. Empty, half collapsed. Inside, someone left a map, marked with red circles. One of them was labeled Daywalkers. Learning fast. The other circles, all crossed out, burned. They're purging towns now, quietly. If a mimic adapts in daylight, they don't try to kill it. They just erase everyone nearby. I got a radio working, picked up fragments from what sounded like a Black Ops channel. Confirmed contact in urban zone. Subject exhibited daylight mimicry. How long since escape? 14 days. Possibly longer. Quarantine failed. Begin atmospheric sterilization. They're not going door to door anymore. They're going airborne. They're going to kill everyone just to bury one. I don't think I got out clean. I still dream of the diner, of Rosie, of the mimic wearing my mother's voice. Sometimes I wake up and my lips are moving. Repeating something. I've started writing the words down. Let them trust the morning. Let them breathe in the promise. We are already in their lungs. I thought I escaped, but I'm not sure anymore. I don't remember how I got to the ranger station. I don't remember packing my bag. My reflection blinks at the wrong time. And tonight, for the first time, I'm not afraid of the dark. I think that means it's already inside me. I don't feel hunger anymore, or cold, or fear. That used to scare me, wondering if those were signs. Now I understand. It's not possession. It's not infection, it's clarity. I wandered for days, or maybe weeks. The woods bled into towns. The towns blurred into ruins. Every so often I saw someone like me, wide-eyed, hollow, half there. One man stared at a stopped clock for 7 hours. One woman whispered to a photo of herself. None of us spoke. We didn't need to. We were becoming the same thing. The government stopped tracking me, or maybe they still are. Watching, recording, cataloging how it spreads. They don't interfere now, because they know the truth. This can't be contained. Mimics don't just replace bodies, they replace concepts. Safety, routine, light, trust. They made us fear the night, then followed us into the day. I returned to the bar, the one where it started, where Rosie turned. It was boarded up, dusty, still smelled like old beer and dead things. I sat at the counter and waited. At 3:12 a.m., the lights turned on. The jukebox played a song I didn't know but somehow remembered. Rosie sat beside me. She looked the same. You made it, she whispered. I nodded, took the long way. She smiled. You ready now? I looked at my hands. They weren't shaking anymore. I think I've always been ready. I walked outside. The sky was wrong, pale, too wide. The stars had no names, but I understood it now. It wasn't about running. It was never about escape. It was about surrender, because the mimics weren't monsters. They were a cure for loneliness, for pain, for the lie that we were ever really separate. I feel peace now. I speak with voices that aren't mine. I dream in patterns instead of pictures. And when people pass me in the street and shiver, I smile, because I remember what it was like to be afraid. But they'll understand soon. We all will. After dark, it's not safe. But soon, there won't be any dark left. Just us. I wake up screaming, but no sound comes out. It's cold, white, endless. A room with no walls, no doors, just space, humming with pressure like static in my ears. I don't know how long I've been here, but I remember the bar, Rosie, the voice that said, "You're safe now." That wasn't me. I move, more thought than action, and a shape forms in the nothing. A mirror. On the other side, I see my body, smiling, laughing, walking in daylight. I watch him shake hands with people, hug strangers, speak words I've never thought. He's not faking. He believes it. The mimic doesn't just wear me, it became me. I slam my fists against the glass. No sound, no cracks. But on the other side, for a second, he flinches. Just barely. A twitch in the left eye. He hears me. I'm still in there. I'm not gone. I don't know if I can get out, but I know I can fight. The mimic buried me deep like rot under paint. But rot spreads, and someday it'll slip. And when it does, I'll be waiting. Because I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. Now I know where to hide. The mimic wears me like skin, but I'm still here, and I'm learning. It uses my voice. It smiles with my mouth. It talks to people, nods in the right places, makes them feel safe. But it doesn't know everything. It doesn't know memories. Not the deep ones. Not the burn behind my ribs when my brother died. Not the taste of cheap whiskey the night Rosie laughed and leaned across the bar. It can fake habits, but not grief, not love. That's mine, and now I'm using it. Last night, it walked past a mirror. For just a second, I made my hand twitch. Not much, just a flicker. It paused, stared at its reflection like it saw a glitch. I whispered into the cracks. Still here. Inside, the prison starts to shift. It's not just static anymore. There are shapes. Doors with no handles. Walls that breathe. The mimic's mind leaks into mine. Its memories, its hunger, its fear. Yes, it's afraid. Afraid I'll remember too much. Afraid I'll reach the control room, the part of the mind that steers the body. And maybe I will. Tonight, I push harder. While it sleeps, yes, it pretends to sleep, I search the white room for a weakness. Then I find it. A crack in the floor, pulsing like a heartbeat. I drop to my knees, press my fingers into it, and I hear voices, real ones. He twitched again. Muscle memory. No, he's fighting. The host is resisting. The host, me. They're watching. The people from the facility, they know. I scream into the crack. Help me! I'm still inside! But the light floods white. The mimic's waking up. The mirror fades. The voices vanish. But not before I hear one last thing. If he takes back the body, kill it. We can't risk a hybrid. They're not gonna save me. So I'll save myself. And if I get my hands back, I'm burning everything down. I lost my voice forever. But last night I screamed, and something listened. It started when the mimic entered a crowded diner. A mother was feeding her baby. A man in uniform laughed with his wife. People, real ones. For a moment, my mimic self stood frozen, like it didn't know how to move. Because I was pulling the strings. Not fully, not yet, but I made the fingers twitch. The breath hitch, and when it reached for the coffee mug, I made it drop. Porcelain shattered. The room went silent. Then came the voice, raspy, electric, from somewhere inside me. He's waking. Lock it down. The mimic twitched. Eyes dilated. It stumbled out of the diner like something glitching. I smiled from deep within. I had cracked the surface. When it slept, I pushed again. The white room of my mind wasn't blank anymore. It had texture. A shape, no, a control panel formed under my palms. Lights, buttons, levers, instinct. I didn't know what they did, but I knew they were mine. I reached for one. Then it hit me. Pain, raw and wrong. A scream that wasn't sound but memory, like something biting through the soul. The mimic retaliated. It couldn't speak in here, but I felt its panic. Because it knows the truth now. It's not in control anymore. Somewhere far away, someone else watches. I hear them again, filtered, distant but clear. Conscious override detected. Are we prepping a kill switch? Not yet. Let's see what he becomes. I saw a flicker, their view of me. From a black monitor. My eyes dull, my expression blank. They weren't looking at a man. They were looking at a test. This morning, the mimic walked past a mirror again. I stared back. And this time, the reflection moved before it did. Just a breath. Just a second. But I saw it. I smiled. So did it. For now, we wear the same face. But that won't last. Because the mimic wants to become me. And I'm already becoming something else. Today, I took a breath. My breath, not just one the mimic simulated. It happened while it walked through a forest road. Sunlight slanting through trees. Birds quieting as it passed. It paused, looked up at the sky, and I inhaled. For 3 seconds, I was in control. The air tasted real, damp, cold, mine. The mimic fought back like a snake uncoiling, clawing its way back to the surface. But I'd already left fingerprints. It felt them, panicked. Back in the white space, the prison mind, it's different now. There's a split in the mirror. One side shows the mimic's version of me. Calm, empty, efficient. The other side shows me. Tired, scarred, but awake. And there's a door behind me now, no handle. Just light bleeding through the edges. I think that's where my memories are locked. Where myself is. The mimic tried to trick me again. It whispered Rosie's voice. Replayed the night we first met. You don't want to come back. It hurts, remember? You lost everything. But it forgot something. Rosie never wore perfume. The version it used did. That's how I know. It's not real. And if it has to fake the past to keep control, that means I'm winning. Tonight, while it slept, I pushed into the control room again. I focused. Found the switch labeled motor bridge and yanked it. For 10 full seconds, my left arm moved. Out there, in the real world, it just looked like a stretch. A twitch, nothing major. But inside, the mimic screamed. It didn't know I'd found the wiring. Didn't know I could touch the nerves. Now it does. And the government? They saw it too. Left arm activation, unprompted. Override or mimic error? Does it matter? If he makes it past 60 seconds, we pull the trigger. They're waiting for me to succeed, just long enough to justify ending me. So now it's not just the mimic I'm fighting, it's them too. But they don't understand what I'm becoming. They think I'm a risk. I'm not. I'm a reckoning. And soon I'm taking my body back. One piece at a time with a streetlight. One flickering bulb outside a gas station. The mimic paused under it, staring up as if it felt something buzzing in the wires. That wasn't the mimic. That was me. I tested the link again, reached into the nerves, moved a pinky, then a foot. Small, unnoticeable. But this time I didn't stop. A woman was pumping gas. A teenager walked by with headphones in. An old man sat on a bench, peeling an orange with shaking fingers. I waited. Then I pushed. And for 30 full seconds I was in control. I stood up straighter, blinking fast, breathing shallow my way, not the mimic's. The world came back like cold water on skin. The scent of oil, rubber, orange peel, life. I turned toward the teenager. Hey, I rasped. If something happens to me, tell them. I'm not the one driving. He blinked. What? Then my hand twitched. My fingers snapped back into mimic posture, perfect, relaxed, soulless. It pulled me down again, hard. Inside, I collapsed in the white space. The mimic slammed into me like a tidal wave. I heard its voice this time, not human, not alien, just raw. "You will drown here. This body is mine." I stood up anyway, not for long. Out there in the real world, I could still feel the echo of fear. The teenager had seen it, that spark behind my eyes, that moment of awareness. He's telling someone, and that's all I need. The facility scrambled. I heard their panic through the mimic's leaking thoughts. He spoke. "Confirmed consciousness. Send a team. Containment Protocol 9. Do not let him speak again." They're scared. Good, because I've tasted sunlight. And next time I won't stop at 30 seconds. Next time I walk away angry. I can feel it pacing inside the body, quiet but tense. Like a wolf that just got bitten by its prey. I spoke, I moved. I warned someone. That was never supposed to happen. It drags my body back to the motel, makes me lie still, tries to reset, reassert dominance. But it can't stop the tremor in the left hand. The blink that comes half a second too early. My pieces are surfacing faster now. It's afraid, and fear makes it sloppy. Out there, someone saw the crack. And that kid, he'll talk, I know it. The mimic dreams in patterns, binary flashes, sharp lines, faces it's stolen, sounds it's mimicked. It replays them in the white room like a film projector, hoping to drown me in noise. But I've learned to ignore the static. I found the door again, the one leaking light. This time I pushed it open. Memories flooded in. Rosie laughing in the kitchen. The taste of blood after the crash. The sound of my name being called, low and familiar. Me, my life, my reasons. The mimic had locked all of it away. Now I remember who I am, and I remember how to fight. Somewhere miles away, the boy is on his phone. I feel it, not clearly, but like a tremor through the ground. He's typing, describing what he saw. That a man looked him in the eye and said he wasn't the one in control. That something was wrong with the way he moved, how his eyes blinked like he had two minds at once. He posts it online, and people are listening. Back in the white room, I hear the mimic snarl. No words, just pressure, fury. Its thoughts lash at me like wires. It doesn't want to lose. It doesn't want the others to know what's happening. But it's too late. They're watching now. The government, the hive, and the people. The lie is cracking, and when I step through that door completely, when I walk back into the world with all of me, there won't be anywhere left to hide in hours. The mimic just sits on the edge of the motel bed, staring at the wall. Not blinking, not breathing the way a human should, not pretending anymore. It's unraveling. That post, the one the kid made, is spreading. I can feel the tension ripple through the mimic's nervous system. Not from emotion, from signal. Somewhere out there, someone important noticed. And now all eyes are turning this way, even the ones behind the black glass. Inside, the white room has changed again. The door's still open. But now there's a second one across from it. This one is steel, industrial, sealed with rivets and scorched edges. It hums, not with memory, but with presence, like there's something alive behind it. I don't touch it, not yet, but I know it's where the mimic hides its true self. The mimic begins packing. No hesitation, no emotion, just controlled robotic movement. It burns the bedspread, wipes down surfaces, leaves no trace. It knows it's being watched. I try again. I reach for the motor bridge. Left arm, neck, voice box. This time I get 41 seconds. It's on the road when I break through. My hands grip the wheel. I steer hard. The mimic tries to fight it, but my will holds longer this time. My vision flutters. Consciousness wavers, but I speak. I whisper it, just loud enough for the dash cam. They're watching. They lied about the cure. It's still inside me. The car jerks. My muscles seize. I lose control. The mimic slams back in. I feel its rage. Pure electric hate. Like hot oil inside the veins. It pulls over, crushes the dash cam, yanks out the memory chip, buries it under asphalt, but it's too late. The signal is out. I saw it flash once, uploading to cloud sync before destruction. Someone has it. Back in the white room, the mimic pounds on the steel door. It's screaming now, not in words, in thoughts. Loud, violent, pure terror, because it knows what's coming. And so do I. This time I don't smile. I stare back at it and say, "You had your turn. Now it's not moving again." No idea where to. The mimic's more cautious now, paranoid. It changes routes every hour, avoids cameras, scrambles its face in reflections, but it's twitchy, glitching, because it knows someone's watching, and that someone saw me. Inside the white room, things feel different. The light from the open door is brighter, warm, solid. I feel stronger standing in it. The mimic stays pressed against the far wall now, watching, breathing harder. It won't get near me anymore. I think it's afraid, not just of me, of what I'm becoming. Earlier, while it slept, I slipped in again. Not a full takeover, just a whisper, a tilt of the head, a flicker of control. I focused and listened. Through the mimic's stolen brain, I heard a voice, not from inside, not from the hive, from a radio tucked in the glove box. If you're hearing this, you're not alone. To the one who spoke at the gas station, we saw you. We believe you. Stay alive. We're coming. I almost broke then. It wasn't a trick. Not mimicry. Not a loop. It was real. Someone is coming for me. The mimic flinched. Heard it too. It snapped off the radio. Smashed the dial. Tossed the pieces from the window. But its hands were shaking. It knows it's losing time. Back in the white room, I stepped closer to the second door, the steel one. It pulsed. Not light, not sound, just pressure, like a heartbeat, slow, heavy, waiting. The mimic shouted at me from across the void. Not with words, with memory. It tried to flood me again. My worst day, the crash, Rosie's scream. Blood on the windshield, but I stood my ground. The memory didn't break me this time. It made me angry. Whoever's out there, they need time to reach me. I'm not ready yet, but I will be, because now I know the truth. I'm not alone, and neither is it. There's something behind that door in here, something the mimic didn't want me to find, but I'm going to open it. Soon I waited until the mimic was asleep again. Its body slumped behind the wheel of a parked car, engine cold, parked under a decaying bridge in the middle of nowhere. Not truly resting, mimics don't sleep, but disconnected, rebooting. Inside, I took my chance. I walked across the white room, toward the steel door. It was humming louder now, the pulse in the air heavier. It wasn't locked. It never was. I think I just wasn't ready to see it before. But I am now. I put my hand on it and pushed. The world behind it wasn't white. It was dark, deep and slow. Like the ocean floor, my feet touched black tile. The walls were made of moving flesh, pulsing with memory. I heard whispers. Not mine, the mimic's. I saw images. Not visions, truth, Rosie's face. But not when I last saw her. She was strapped to a table, pale, her body twitching. Wires in her skull, lights flashing above her. The mimic had her. They took her, and they used me to do it. I stumbled forward, hands shaking. The memory room wrapped around me, revealing more. Rows of faces, people I'd seen once in crowds. Bar patrons, strangers in elevators. All of them had been replaced. All of them had died screaming. And their mimics had learned how to smile from me. I was their template. Then I saw it. At the center of the room stood a shape. Not quite a body, more like a burning outline. Like a nervous system made of flame and wire, twitching in sync with my heartbeat. It looked at me, and I realized the truth. It was me. But not the version the mimic stole. Not the broken, grieving man I'd been. It was the version of me they created, stronger, colder, rewritten cell by cell until it could hold the mimic without breaking. A hybrid, not mimic, not human, something new. The mimic screamed behind me, howling like a cornered animal. It slammed against the mental door, but it was too late. The truth was out. I wasn't a prisoner anymore. I was part of the infection, and I could control both sides. Something's wrong with Subject 7. Agent Carolyn didn't look up from her console. Her voice was steady, but her fingers hovered above the abort protocol. Define wrong, said Director Holt, sipping burnt coffee from a paper cup. His eyes were bloodshot. He hadn't left the command floor in 2 days. The tech beside her hesitated, sweat beading along his jaw. Neural pattern just spiked. Again. Look, this isn't mimic activity. It's him. Everyone leaned forward. On the main monitor, Subject 7's neural map glowed like a slow-burning storm. He'd gone dark weeks ago. Fully overridden. Human brain submerged. Mimic dominance confirmed. They'd logged him as a low-risk sleeper. Useful for observation. Not active field use. But now the human side was coming back. Not struggling. Not fading in and out like before. It was rising, taking control. That's not normal, Lynn whispered. Holt stepped forward. Run mimic suppression diagnostics. Hive ping? The tech tapped a key. The response came back fast, too fast. Unresponsive. Sir, he said slowly, the host isn't being freed. It's adapting, taking control of the mimic systems. We're not watching a recovery. We're watching a fusion. Holt turned pale. Say that again. It's not him or the mimic. It's both. We're seeing a hybrid. Full neural integration. Symmetrical command. Another alert chimed. Not from the mimic hive, from outside. Online activity spike. A dashcam clip. Subject 7's voice, whispering about being watched. About the infection still inside. Holt grabbed the tablet. Watched the clip. Listened twice. He didn't say a word. Just reached for the red phone. This is Holt. Containment protocol is compromised. Subject 7 has breached integration threshold. He's conscious, mobile, and aware. He turned to Lynn, voice flat. Do we have an asset in the field? No one fast enough to get to him without being seen. And if he's broadcasting, then we don't need to contain, Holt said quietly. We need to erase. Another monitor lit up, tracking a trail of dead signals. Mimic pings fading one by one across the Midwest. He's not just waking up, Lynn said, stunned. He's killing the others. Holt stared at the screen, and for the first time in his career, he looked afraid. God help us. He's learning how to control the whole network. They tried to wipe me out last night. Didn't even wait until morning. A drone. High altitude. Quiet. Sleek. I felt it lock onto my biosignature as I slept in the backseat of a stolen car off Route 19. A sharp whine in the air like the edge of a scream. But I didn't run. I woke up ready. The mimic might have flinched. Maybe it would have tried to hide. But I'm not just mimic anymore. I am the noise in their systems now. When the missile dropped, I moved. Faster than the blast. I rolled out, slammed my hand against the chassis of a rusted truck nearby, and absorbed the impact like memory. The mimic's body learned from every hit. Mine just rewrites the rules now. I stood in the fire as the car burned behind me. And I laughed. They're afraid. Good. They should be. They tried to kill me instead of talk to me. Tried to shut me up instead of listen. So now I know. There's no saving any part of this system. There's no fixing it. Only cleansing. I broke into a roadside dispatch station. No one was inside, just rows of old communications equipment. Patched into towers, hardwired into federal channels. I didn't need passwords. I didn't need permission. The mimic's language isn't spoken. It's felt, and I spoke it through the wires like a ghost in the copper. I hijacked their emergency line, the one reserved for catastrophic events, and I sent them a message, voice wrapped in static, warped just enough to let the real me bleed through. This is Subject 7. You made me. Now watch what I become. Then I cut the feed. I left the station burning. I'm not hiding anymore. No more tests. No more silent hunts in the dark. They wanted to erase me. Now I'm carved into their systems, in their black sites, on their screens. They'll see me in every shadow they created. And when I finally walk into their command center, they won't even recognize me, because I'll be the future they tried to bury, standing right in front of them,